It's Christmas Day 2019. I've now owned and driven this Land Rover Discovery Sport for 2 full years, over 2 years. It was around 15 months old when I bought it, and now it's well over 3 years old. 3 years and 6 months, something like that. So I bought it under Approved Used. That's, you get 2 years warranty, so it's out of that warranty as well. That expired about a month ago. So I'm going to give you my top 10 stuff that you need to know about owning or buying a Land Rover Discovery Sport. This is a HSE Black, so it's near the top of the range. The reason I bought it because it's very competitively priced. I paid £31,000 for this higher end model when it was 15 months old. So what do you need to know if you're considering buying a Land Rover Discovery Sport? What's good and what's bad about it? First of all, I'll give you one good thing, in that it's proved reliable. In the 2 years, it's never once failed to start. There we go. We have done, in total the car's done 18,236 miles. I think it was around, memory serves me correctly, around 11,000 when I bought it. So I haven't driven it much. Turn it off. There you go, 25th of December 2019, Christmas Day. So the first good thing is that it's never broken down in the 2 years which I've owned it, which is the main thing that you want from a car, that it does not break down. Yes, you get a Land Rover support, but who wants to wait for hours? The worst thing you can have in a car is that you feel like, oh, it could break down any minute, which this one hasn't, so that's a good thing. Yes, there have been times when it's failed to start straight away, but if you turn it off, there've been about 5 or 6 of them, but it's failed to start. You just turn it off, leave it for a few seconds, and try again, and it starts. So that's a good thing. Another minor thing that's gone wrong is that suddenly it's had a gear fault. A message flashed up saying gear fault. So all I did was pull over, turn it off, start again, and the gear fault went. That happened once, and that was quite recently. But overall, it's proved reliable when driving. It is not broken down, not once, which is good. So it starts off with a good report. Now for the negative. The first negative is the quality of build. You know, you think you're buying a tough Land Rover, but actually you're buying a little princess. The quality of build is feeble. Look, that's gone. These are minor things like cosmetic. You got fabrics, feels, it rattles a bit, but you get used to it. So when you're first driving, you hear all these noises, and you think, bloody hell, what's all these noises going off? You hear the knocking sound. Something's flexing. Apart from that sound, the car drives well. Just keep it in eco mode. You hear that? Well, just keep it in eco mode. You hear that? But you get used to them. So the quality of build is not very good. It's cheap. It's a lot cheaper than you think. They don't appear to be made to last long. That's the impression I get. So you got a 7-seater, pull up the seats. The general feeling is it's lower quality of build, that they're not very robust, which you experience whilst driving, that you don't feel like the parts are going to last long. And the only thing that's gone wrong on this significantly was the EGR gasket needed replacing. Now guess how much the dealer wanted to charge to replace it. Go on, guess. And the engine management warning lights came on a few days ago. So today I'm off to the dealer to get it checked. What's up? Apparently it's going to take 4 hours to give me a result of a code and just plug something in. Anyway, see what the damage is, what's wrong, what happens after 3 years when your car's just out of warranty. It's only done 18,000 miles. It's not like a lot. I'm not a mechanic, but I suspect it's the catalytic converter. So I'm back in my car, and what did they do? They replaced the EGR cooler gasket or filter, and it would have cost £1,000 if I had to pay for it. I asked if they did it under approved used, and they said no, they rejected it. But she got Land Rover to, replace it anyway, because it's just out of warranty. I don't understand that. Why was it not done under approved used? So I'm all done. Just did £1,000, bloody hell. And they didn't replace the EGR valve, just the filter. £1,000 just to do the filter. It also means it's not gonna last long, is it? It's gonna get clogged up again after another 18,000 miles or so. These Land Rover Discovery Sports are disappointing. They're not built to last. £1,000, that would have been a shocker if I had to pay that. £1,000 just to put an EGR filter in. So that's what you're going to expect if you own a Land Rover Discovery Sport. The EGR filters are prone to getting blocked. Don't know what mileage yours is going to get blocked out, but mine got just over 3 years and 18,000 miles. And it would have cost me £1,000 at a dealer to get fixed. That's not replacing the valve as I thought they were going to do by the phone call. Just the filter. Oh dear. See if it starts and the warning light comes on. No warning light. That's good. So I'm good to go for hopefully another year or two. Probably 3 years maybe, until the EGR needs clearing. Obviously if you do a lot more mileage, you might be looking at annual job. It also puts into question the approved used. She said they rejected it, and they've sent me a letter today saying, do I want another year of approved used warranty? Well, if they rejected it, I've told her to email me what they said, and she might or might not. That's disappointing if they rejected approved used. That's weird. Anyway, I got it done for free. £1,000. I don't know what mechanism they used to cover the cost. Land Rover covered the cost, and it was the EGR filter, and it would have cost me £1,000 at a dealer. Probably, I think when I looked online, it was probably about £580. So it is double nearly. 580 online quote I got for EGR valve. That was the valve. I think, I don't know. Filter, would it be cheaper? Would it be the same? That's what you can expect from a 3-year Land Rover Discovery Sport that's done about 20,000 miles, and I'm off. £1,000. That's just for the EGR gasket, not the valve. The valve would have probably pushed it to 1,500 or more. So that's a negative. They're not very robust. They're not made to last long, so you're going to have to budget a lot when they go out of warranty. Yeah, maybe £2,000 a year easy in maintenance costs once they're out of warranty. They don't appear to be made to last more than about 3 or 4 years before things start going wrong, and this is a low mileage. So that's the major negative. They're not very robust. You'll know what I mean once you start driving one. So that's the major negative. You're going to have to budget a lot of money. A lot of money. So let's take it for a spin and go through some more positives and negatives, and then I'll give you my overall rating after owning one for 2 years. So we've now switched to the dash cam, obviously because I'm driving. So the next positive, so one positive, one negative, now another positive, is that it drives well. It's a good quality drive. You're going to enjoy driving these cars. Land Rover Discovery Sport is a good car to drive, especially long distances. You feel comfortable driving. You're sat up quite high in the seat and you feel very comfortable driving in the car. Not all the lights are up yet, see? So you get quite a comfortable drive in a Land Rover Discovery Sport. Quite enjoyable. I like driving these long distance. I'm talking about down to Cornwall. It's about over 400 miles, something like that. So they're good for long distance driving, and it's a comfortable drive, and enjoy driving the cars, as you can see. So the main positives so far are that it's reliable, starts every time, you don't have to call out any recovery. After all, it was less than 3 years old, so you don't want a car that starts conking out within the first 3 years. If a car's failing to start within the first 3 years, especially if it's low mileage, then it's going to give you a lot of headache. That's a warning sign. So this one's proved reliable, although I've not driven much. Like I say, I've driven probably around 7,500 miles since I bought it. So it is quite light. Comfortable drive, responsive, steering's responsive, no wobble in the steering. Not had to take it into the dealer to have it looked at for anything. There is quite a bit of a rattle at the back, which comes and goes, which I've basically got used to. You get what it is. A lot of the minor stuff you get used to, like your brain blanks it out. But when you initially get it, they're big. They feel like big things, but they're not. So you're going to get a lot of minor stuff that's going to irritate you, but you're just going to get used to it. Which way shall we go? As you can see, drive smoothly, no problems. So if you're going to buy it under approved used, and the newer it is, the better, because there is a difference between approved used warranty and approved used warranty and the 3-year warranty. There is a difference. When it went out of warranty, this is probably a negative then. The negative that the warranties are not the same. The dealer warranty and the approved used warranty are not the same. They give you, basically it was still under warranty when the EGR gasket failed or was failing or got clogged up and need replacing, and they gave me some grief that I might have to pay $150 for the for the diagnostic and the cost for replacing the gasket, which was £1,000 bill to replace the gasket on an EGR, not the actual valve, which I was shocked at. But they said, oh, Land Rover rejected it, but we called them up and they said, okay, we'll do a favour for you. What do you mean a favour? You're not doing me a favour. I've got warranty. So I actually replaced it, but the dealers, they make a song and dance like they're doing you a favour when they're not, because you're still under warranty. So just to consider that look, this road is a bit tight. So just consider that the dealers are going to give you some grief for the approved used once it's out of the 3 year. The 3 years the main warranty, and the approved used like a crappy bolt on that may or may not pay off. Just consider that when you're buying, which is why I say it's better to get one. If you're going to buy one used, get one that's about a year old. So you want it in the 3 year warranty, then you get no problem. Anything wrong, take it down, they'll see to it. But the approved used is a bit more of a iffy. They give you grief over it, so that's a negative. The dealers are a negative for approved used. Once it's out of 3 year, you get some grief from the dealer. Instead of they're doing the jobs, they give you grief, like they want a copy of my V5 and all that, just to do what they write a letter saying that they should pay, and they're saying, oh, if there's a chance that you might have to pay for it. So that's a negative. I think I'm going to give you another negative now. I'll pull over somewhere. Which is the MPG. You get crap MPG for these cars. Okay, it depends on your driving style. Whether you drive mostly on motorways or not, but they don't. I was like sucked into the Land Rover sales pitch of 54.4 miles per gallon. In reality, you're not going to get nowhere near that. Okay, so I'll show you the miles per gallon. Advanced trip. Historical data. So here we go, driven 1700 miles, probably 60% on motorway, and I get 33.5 mpg. That's what you can expect from a fairly long distance driving. Was it 26 minutes or 26 hours of eco stop time, wherever that is. So MPG is pretty poor. Look, that's probably over 1,000 miles on motorway, and it's got a 33.5 mpg. It's been worse if it's just city driving, then it drops to around 26 mpg. However, if you drive say 90% on motorway, you're probably going to get around 39 mpg. None of it's anywhere near the sales pitch of 54.4 mpg. So that's one thing to consider. The MPG is going to be a lot worse than the sales pitch. If 90% motorway, it's going to be, you might hit 40, but for if you say around 60-70% on motorway, you're going to be around 34. If you say 90% city, it's going to be lucky to get to 28, probably going to be around 25 MPG. Just something to consider. But the MPG is likely to be a lot worse than what you expect. So that's another negative. Okay, so here's another negative that's related to quality of build and manufacture. So even though they look good, they're not as robust or as reliable as you imagine them to be. Which is that sometimes when you stop the car, it rolls back about half a foot to a foot. Watch, I'm going to stop the car here. See if it does it this time. Stopped. Turn it off. Yeah. Oh, it just rolled back slightly then. Sometimes it continues rolling. It's not moving at the moment. Initially when you stop, you let go of the brake and it rolls back up to a foot, or usually half a foot. This time it rolled back a few inches. So that's a negative related to quality of build. Remember, you're basically getting a cut down Land Rover, so it's not rolled back. Oh look, see, it's rolling back now. Did you see that? It's still rolling back. It's still rolling back. I put my foot on the brake, took my foot off. It's still rolling back. See, this is quality of build is crap. It's rolling back when it shouldn't be. Now I put my foot on the brake again, but when you let go, it should not roll backwards. Oh, it's still rolling back. This is what illustrates the quality of build. You know, if you got in traffic, the car behind you, yeah, so basically, keep your foot on the brake even when you've stopped. Only when the ignition's off. Even then, when you turn the ignition off, there's a chance it's going to roll back. That's one of the negatives, that you're a bit worried that something's going to go wrong. You're going to roll back and hit the car behind. That's always that becomes part of your psyche, that you got to keep your foot on the brake at all times, because it's going to roll back. Like that was slow roll. Sometimes it rolls back fast, about a foot, and then stops rolling back. I don't know what. There's some flaw with Land Rover Discovery Sport. So that's another negative. That's like a lot of these negatives you can work around, you get used to. It gives you a bit of uncomfortable drive where you don't know if it's going to roll back. So you got to remember to keep your foot on the brake. We got lots of Christmas lights here. Oh, Merry Christmas. 2 years old as shit. Like I say, for maintenance wise, like I said at the beginning, you're going to have to budget once it's out of warranty. An approved use is not as good as the 3-year warranty, regardless of the sales pitch. So budget maybe a couple of thousand a year for maintenance. So it's going to be it's a maintenance heavy car, and that's not going at a dealer. If you go to a dealer, you're going to pay double. So I'm sure I could have got the gasket fixed for around £500-600 instead of the 1,000 plus that the dealer would have charged. Also, another tip which I'll show you is to get one of those cheap diagnostics OBD2 readers, so you can read the code yourself, because dealers will charge you 150 on the back street. We got ordinary guys maybe £60-70. You could save a lot of money on them. Let's pull over again and see if it rolls facing downwards. That's one of my major creaks. Right, I've stopped now. Stop to put it into park. Yeah. It's mostly a rolling backwards that you shouldn't do. So obviously if you're facing forward, you're going to roll forward. If you take your foot off, that's the direction of travel. It's the way the gears engage. But if it's in park, it shouldn't roll. Whereas if you're facing up a hill, then it rolls backwards. Let's see if I can replicate again on this next hill, facing upwards. Not this one. That's a the main positive is that it's a good drive, and another positive is that it's reliable, so it's not broken down, which is probably the main thing you want from a car, because the worst thing is that you're driving, that you feel it's going to break down when you drive. And the negatives are that quality of build is poor, MPG is poor, and it's got little faults with it, such as the rolling back when you park, when you stop on the hill. You don't want it to roll back. Parking brake is not very good, which I'll show you again on this hill, looking round and round. Not a too steep hill, it's this shallow hill. Okay, next. Let's stop here and see what happens. I've stopped, engine's on, put on the brake, let go of the brake. Okay, it's not rolled back up. See, it's holding its own now. Put back on the brake, and I put the parking brake on. See, it doesn't happen every time. Actually, it's moving back slightly now. Got the parking brake on now. And there was a slight, ever so slight movement backwards after I put the parking brake on. It doesn't appear to be moving now. Obviously when the engine's off it shouldn't move backwards at all, otherwise you're going to have a major headache. Yeah, so now I'm going to turn the engine on. And off we go. But it didn't really happen then. Yeah, moving centimetre backwards is not a major thing, but unlike the earlier, that was a significant rollback, and it kept rolling back. It didn't stop. So that's what you got to live with. That when you park, make sure that it's stopped moving backwards before you exit the vehicle. Parking brake's fine, it's just that when the engine's on, it rolls back. And the frequency is quite high, maybe a third of the time. I've done it twice and it's happened, so that shows you the frequency is quite high. So let's show you some more positives and negatives. Okay, so that's 2 good and 4 bad things about a Discovery Sport. So let's balance that up with a couple of good things, and that would be that it's a 7-seater. Enough room for kids and the skinny teens, but not really for adults, not unless they're small. But still, it is a 7-seater, and there is some boot space at the back, so I'll show you. That's definitely a positive that it's a 7-seater, which is one of the main reasons why you buy a Land Rover. You've got some space here at the back, and of course you've got a huge boot space. Let's put this down. In fact, you can get easily 2 meters once you put all the seats down. You can get something that's 2 meters in length to go up this boot, and probably around 600 centimeters width. So you can get a IKEA flat pack into a Land Rover Discovery Sport. This has got 2 1.9 meter long packages and 1 smaller one. It's a wardrobe, large wardrobe, and a TV stand, and there's plenty of space here at the back, and as you can see towards the front. Yeah, because it slopes upwards. In essence, you can get up to a 2-meter long package if it's not more than about 60 or 70 centimeters width. So obviously you can't move the driver's seat forward much. See what it looks like. So they've got good boot capacity. If you move the passenger seat forward. Right, we'll go off. We'll be off now. Hopefully it'll be an uneventful trip. So it's got quite a large boot, which is a positive. And of course the other major positive is driving in bad weather. You know, when it's snowing, like when there was the beast from the east, you could drive it in the snow without any problems, and you'd see other cars abandoned at the side of the roads, or even worse, crashed, whilst the Land Rover Discovery Sport made it without any problems. And as this is a HSE Black, we have the Panoramic Sunroof. You just press this button and there it goes. It is quite big. Quite big. Does it finish? Unfortunately, I would neither rank this as a good or bad, but maybe just mixed, for the fundamental reason it doesn't open. What's the point of having a sunroof that doesn't open? For instance, when I was buying the car and the dealer showed me the sunroof, I go, wow, that is great, how do you open it? And he said, sorry, it doesn't open. Well, what? I laughed at the time. I go, what's the point of having a sunroof if it doesn't open? So it represents a mixed picture for the car, which is the Land Rover Discovery Sport, because they've only gone so far as putting a sunroof in, a big sunroof, but not going the whole way and allowing you to open it. No mechanism to open this huge sunroof. You'd be better off with a smaller sunroof, as long as you could open it. Still, it's something extra for the Land Rover Discovery Sport HSE Black. That's how you close it. And off it goes. It's a mixed. I don't really use it. In fact, I usually don't even think about it. I forget that I've even got it. You know, when it's closed, you forget you've even got it. And to tell you the truth, I've hardly used it, because like I say, I don't even remember I've got it. So it's mixed. Good that you've got it, but bad that you can't open it, and you forget that you've got it. So if you're thinking of buying a Land Rover Discovery Sport HSE Black, that's the panoramic sunroof. But you're not missing anything if you don't get one, because I virtually just keep it like this all the time. And last but not least is servicing. We get Land Rovers every 2 years or 20,000 miles oil change sales pitch. The engines are just not made to last that long, so your service indicator warning light's going to come on long before it reaches the sales pitch. In fact, you'll be lucky to make it at 12,000 miles before your car starts demanding an oil service, as roughly after about 8, 9 or 10,000 miles from the last service, the service indicator starts to go down at the rate of about 5 miles per mile driven, which I've tracked and covered in numerous videos over the last 2 years. Okay, let's see what it shows. Remember, I've done 312 miles. Next service 5,450. It was 6,850 before. It's gone down 1,400 miles. I've only done 300. That's a load of bollocks, pardon my language. So the service indicator's gone down 1,400 miles and I've only driven 300. What a load of... Next service. So what's it gonna be? 4,900. That's what it should be if it's going down 1 mile per mile driven. Next service is 2,750. Well, that's about 5. What's it gone down? It's gone down in half, hasn't it? So it's going down at the rate of 5 miles per mile driven. So that means another 500 miles service will be due. So around 14,660. So much for the Land Rover sales pitch of a service every 21,000 miles or 2 years. Oh, 14,160 now, and it's showing 2750, and it's gone down from 13,640 and it said 5,450. So it's going down at the rate of 5 miles per mile driven, which means at around 14,650 a service will be due. Will be at 0. So I'll show you one more time what it looks like. You have to turn the engine on before it appears. And it should pop up. Yeah, service required in 750 miles. We'll see how it goes down. So at 14,713 it said 750 miles. I think I'll be lucky to get 100 miles, 150 miles of driving. I'll be lucky. In fact, I think I've only got about 100 miles before it's 0. So I'm going to have to book in the service now. Oil service, but book it in. Still maybe a 2-year service. You know, it's about 4 months away. So there you have it. That's what the service indicator warning light looks like. The main thing to note, it goes down fast after 12,000 miles. Between 4 and 6 miles per mile driven, depending on your driving. If it's more motorway or more city. So basically, you're going to have to budget for annual servicing if you want to maximize the life of your car and its engine. That's double the expected servicing costs. So that makes it 4 good, 1 mixed in. 5 bad things about a Land Rover Discovery Sport after 2 full years of ownership. Virtually all of which were under warranty of sorts. So would I still buy a Land Rover Discovery Sport today, and how would I rate the car? Well, rating wise, the big positive is that it's not broken down once, and it is very good to drive. So I would still rate it at 7 out of 10, which is pretty much how I've rated it since the first few weeks after I bought the car. Would I still buy one today and recommend it to others? Well, that depends on what else is available that fits the criteria as technology moves on. But given the choice, then it's likely that I would still buy an approved used Land Rover Discovery Sport today, as long as you follow these rules. Firstly, aim to buy one that's still under the 3-year manufacturer's warranty. So aim to buy one that's about a year old, so that you're covered for at least 1 full year of driving, and preferably nearly 2 years. That way you get a fairly new car at a discount of 25 to 30%. And you have to understand that approved use is not the same as the 3-year warranty. The dealers tend to be a pain in the arse as they cover their backs in case Land Rover does not recompense them. I.e., they warn you that you may be charged for the repair and they want a copy of your V5 before they release the car after repair, as Guy Salmon recently did to me. So do aim to get one that's around a year old so you own it for at least 1 full year under manufacturer's warranty. Secondly, you're going to have to budget for maintenance costs of $1,000 to $2,000 per year once it's out of warranty, and maybe more. That's not using the dealer's prices, which are typically double. Out of warranty, this car is not going to be cheap to own. Thirdly, Land Rover sales pitch of servicing every 2 years and 20,000 miles is blah blah BS. The car engine is just not up to it. It's an annual service or every 12,000 miles. Anyway, service dash warning message will pop up long before you get to 20,000 miles. So again, it's going to cost double in terms of servicing the car. So that's about another £500 on top of your maintenance and repair budget, if serviced at dealers, which likely is where you'll be getting it serviced for at least the first few years of ownership at least. In fact, try to get it serviced at a dealer even when it's out of warranty, as they will update the software for you. Fourthly, forget about 54.4 mpg. Instead expect around 35 mpg depending on where you mostly drive. I.e., if it's mostly city driving, then it will be 30 mpg or even less, probably less if you're 90%. If it's mostly motorways, then you should be hitting 40 mpg, but again nowhere near 54.4 mpg. Maybe if you're lucky for the first month of ownership you'll get in the mid 40s, but after that it's all downhill. Fifthly, you could look into getting your own OBD2 reader, which will likely work to varying degree depending on the price paid. Or you can pick a basic unit up for as little as 50 quid, whilst the dealer will charge you £150 just to read the codes. Again, the main positives are it's reliable and good to drive, and of course it looks good. Nothing beats a Land Rover's look. Whilst the main negatives are they are not made to last, so expect to pay a lot in terms of maintenance as the car ages. For instance, an EGR gasket should not fail at 18,000 miles, which is a harbinger of bigger costs to come in later years. Maybe I've been luckier than most, as some owners have had a far bigger problem than an EGR gasket needing replacing. Hence why you should get one around the 1 year mark. This is where we are. Where we've driven to on the outskirts of Sheffield. You can see the city from there. So let's see what low traction the program is for setting off from here. It's on 2 wheels are in snow, 2 wheels are on the road, so it shouldn't have any problems. We'll see what it's like. I'll set it to low traction. We'll get a move on. Okay, we'll just let this car go and we'll start low traction program again. Low traction launch. Oh, there's lots of cars. Let's get going. See how it performs. Low traction. Yeah, no problem. So there was no problem from low traction launch. Started without any problems. Now driving around 32, 33, 35. We are now getting towards the outskirts of Sheffield. braking, there's no slippage. The padlock is off on the traction logger. The Land Rover is coping very well with bad weather. Cyclist there. So I would definitely avoid buying one that's more than 3 years old, as you will be playing Russian roulette. They are not built to the same standard. Whilst if you consider buying a brand new Discovery Sport, then it looks like Land Rover, given a lack of quality control and consistency plus poor build quality, then they have decided to rebuild the car from scratch for effectively a new Discovery Sport due to come out mid-2020. So if you got money to burn, then maybe you should wait for that new model. Or maybe wait till mid-2021 to buy a 1 year old new model. Price wise, looking at the configurator online, then these new models are going to be priced at about 5k more than the existing Discovery Sports for similar spec machine. I.e. today's HSE Black is about £42,000 new, whilst a similar mid-2020 model will be priced at around £47,000. Though of course, it's not like for like, roughly similar spec, which means a 1 year old will be priced at about £33,000 to £35,000 against £30,000 to £32,000 for an existing Discovery Sport HSE Black. And if you are getting a second-hand model, then get the highest spec you can get. Don't waste your time getting a basic spec. Get an HSE Black, get one that looks the best so that you enjoy driving it to maximum effect. That's my best advice. Get the highest price you can afford in terms of spec so you enjoy driving the car. And that's my 2-year review of owning a Land Rover Discovery Sport on Christmas Day 2019. Do subscribe for more videos about owning and driving a Discovery Sport, or what pitfalls to expect as the car ages. Given that they're unfortunately not made to last. Anyway, ho 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 ho. Merry Christmas from a Land Rover Discovery Sport owner on Christmas Day 2019.